What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I'm just getting everything prepped. I guess it's 5:30 already. Hi, Jackie. Lakia. What's up, Erica? And Slick, what's good? I'm so glad y'all came to join me for our demonstration of class tomorrow. And this is also my opportunity to um, demonstrate what we're going to do tomorrow, explain what you need to bring to the table to make sure that we're all on the same page. And then, of course, also, this is my opportunity to work out any final little kinks that might be confusing. It's kind of like I get to test drive teaching before I teach the class tomorrow. So let me know if y'all have any questions, questions about the class, questions about the academy, etc. And I'm going to go ahead and go through getting this one set up. What I'm going to do is a alternate design, which I call a switch up. And when I do the switch up, it'll give you an idea of what you will be doing in class. Now, of course, and it is a little bit different because in class, I'm not going to be doing the work, you'll be doing the work. And I don't even turn my Photoshop on. I'm pretty much watching you all and directing you through editing your Photoshop files throughout the whole class. All right, I'm just waiting for a couple of people to come on in. All right, good deal. So I got me a little water this time. So hopefully I won't be all talked out. We had a little session earlier today. All right, so this one, as promised, I'm gonna do as a class template. So I told you all, save your coins. We'll do it for class. So then that way the VIP members of the academy, of course, as long as you attend the class, you don't have to pay for it. You get early access to the template and you get to attend the live class. We'll go through all of these steps that I'm showing you to where every single person makes it through these phases and ends up with a final design at the end of class. All right. So all I'm doing, I was just, kind of cleaning things up. And again, I want to thank Erica for allowing us to use this beautiful example of the shirt here that includes her cousin who recently passed. So our condolences sincerely to you, Erica. We thank you. We appreciate you. And this is a beautiful way for us to be able to help to honor your cousin's memory, okay? And I thank you even more that that you're here and always pushing and doing something that gets me to the next level. So thank you. Thank you. All right, so I was doing a little something here with these doves. I think I'm going to do an outer glow. And I'm going to choose normal right now so I can see what's going on. And I think I'm just trying to see here how much I want these the doves to glow. Crank my opacity all the way up so that I can really see what's going on here. And then the color that I'm going to choose, I don't think I want it to be pure white. Let me see. A little bit off-white. Here we go. And then once I have it where I want to bring this opacity down just a little bit. There it goes. I kind of wanted them to glow. And now I guess there'll be either option. You can make them glow or you can have a drop shadow. So that's the drop shadow without the glow. Kind of makes the doves more of the focus. If I put the outer glow, it makes the photos more of the focus. So that's me probably playing with a little too much. Let me leave it alone and get this thing ready for y'all. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it alone here. All right, so what I'm gonna do for this one, I'm going to do a flip instead of doing it as a remembrance shirt demonstration. I'm gonna do it as a wedding to kind of give you an idea of how versatile a lot of these things can be, just depending on your imagination. So I'm looking for a little wedding photo just to demonstrate here. Let's see. I'm going to do a Google search. Let's go images.google.com and let's just search for wedding and doves. And I'm going to look up a large size. So when I go here to my tools and large, it doesn't have to be large because this is just our example photo. But if I can find a large one, I normally will. And those don't look good though. I just had some nice photos and I missing closed out my window, so now I'm kind of researching. I don't want the top of the heads cut off. I want to see like full image so that it makes sense. And this is not a large resolution image, but I think that could work. Let's just open image in a new tab so I get just the image there. And I just want to give you an idea of how we can switch things up sometimes. Let's close out of that. I'm going to bring the image in, and this is what I want you all to do ahead of class. So you can have up to 3 images. So I'm just going to do this one and show you how we would do it with one image. And of course, the image in the background, we can change that out as well. And you'll see how it looks to have that transparent kind of watermarked image in the background. So first, let's right click on our photo. Make sure I'm saving as I'm going along. Let's right click on our photo. And I'm going to rename this photo 1. So we'll have photo 1, photo 2, and then photo 3. Please don't come to class with more than 3 photos. That's photo 3. And then if you only have 1 photo, that's fine too. I just want you to get the experience of changing what you may need to change for the transparent image, and it's based on what color scheme you choose and the level of contrast in your photo. All right, so once I have photo 1 selected on my layers here, and if I didn't know where it was, I would just come here, right click, go to photo 1. Let me delete that group. And there's some wings in here too if you want wings, just for your reference. You don't have to use them. As a matter of fact, this template doesn't use them, but they are there. And as a matter of fact, I'll put the wings behind the main photo. And then that way, if you want to design around it, you absolutely can. All right, so I'll go ahead and turn them off right now. All right, and I'm going to show you how to use Remove BG if you haven't already. I have a million videos where I'm using Remove BG to take out the background. But just for the sake of this class, I'm going to go ahead and show you again because this is something you should have done before class. So it's really simple. And part of the homework, it has a link that shows you how you can cut out using the pen tool if you want to use the pen tool, and then also how to use Remove BG. All right, so right now I'm going to drag and drop my image from the folder to Remove BG, and this is going to be a low resolution image, so I don't even have to worry about using up any of my tokens to get the large image. All right, so what you're going to have is an Innate Academy 131 folder, right? And when you unzip it, it's already going to have the template file in there. So your responsibility is going to be downloading your photos. So I will call them photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, just to keep things simple. And you're going to save it inside of your Innate Academy 131 folder. That way, when we start class, you're not searching for your images, okay? Same thing with the fonts. I'm going to go ahead and tell you while we're live what fonts to have for this one. So the first one, the font is called Leaner. So I'm going to look it up just so that I can show you. So let's look up Leaner font. And there it is from the font. I'm going to hit download. Now I can't distribute the font to you because it's not mine to distribute, but I'm just showing you basically what your 131 folder should look like. You should have the font downloaded here. And then you'll right click. You can show it in the folder. Go ahead and right click. Just double click it. It'll show the installation window. You hit install. And in my case, I already have this installed. It says, do I want to replace it? I'm going to say no. But if you don't have the font, that would have automatically installed it on your computer. So there's that font, and let me go ahead and grab. I'm going to go ahead and put this here on the template file. I'm doing everything I can, y'all, to improve. Like whenever I see issues, like for instance, if people can't find the fonts or they don't know where the links are, I'm doing my best to find the resources for you all so that you're not struggling when it comes time for class. So let me go ahead and put the fonts up here. I'm going to type something on this top layer. You need this font. And then I'll put this at the very, very top. So when y'all open it, boom, in your face, you need this font. And also it'll be right in your face before you get to play with anything, so you will have to literally turn it off or it'll be annoying to you. There you go. So there's going to be one, and I think there are two fonts we're using here. The other font, the alt click and drag, is the In Our Hearts. This one is Amertha Personal. So let's go find it. There we go. And I'm going to copy the web address here. But once I go to this web address, this is what you would do. Go to download, save it. I show it in the folder. And let it finish downloading there. This is taking a really long time to download. This is a large file for a font. Because this file here is only 19 kilobytes and this one is 6.8 megabytes. And it's still personal use only, so I do encourage you, if you plan on using this and you want all the characters and stuff, to support the artist that created this font. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on because I don't want to sit here and take up all this time just to show you how to expand and install a font. And I did just show you that. So what I will do is go ahead and update the Photoshop file to tell you the font that you'll need. All right, and the other thing that I'm going to do is make this a 13 by 19 since most of us are printing 13 by 19. And then what I'll do is I'll make the AllOver version of the template available after class. All right, so I think we have our image here. Let's go ahead and change it out. Let's see what it looks like. Right click on photo 1. And then we can go ahead and turn off our background photos right now just so we can focus on the single color or the single image here. All right, and then we'll turn off the visibility here. And once we drag and drop our image in, it will automatically place it above the layer that we were currently working on. So that's our photo 1. That should be in your Innate Academy 131 folder. So I'm literally showing you this as if you were in class right now. You want to make sure that all of your source files are in the right place. And then we're going to go ahead and hit enter because this is a pixelated image, but it's not that pixelated. But what happens with Photoshop while you're resizing your image, it takes its time and basically doesn't use up resources to render that photo at every little iteration of you dragging it bigger and smaller. So once you hit enter and lock in that transformation, it will take those little pixel squares away. And in this case, I'm going to lift the picture up so I can see the harsh lines at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and put a layer mask on there, grab my paintbrush. Because we know that black reveals and white conceals, I'm going to go ahead and brush the black across the bottom of the image. Now I'm not deleting any pixels here. All I'm doing is allowing this to play like a window. Now in this case, if we wanted to bring the whole heart image down, we could. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it just like this so this makes sense as a single image. And let's say that there are like wedding colors, so that we want to match those wedding colors. And this is spring. So let's think of a good spring color. I'm thinking like a mint, green, aqua, or something like that. I know red and purple are common colors that use for wedding colors too. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all a little trick. You don't have to do this, but I'm just Googling wedding colors, right? And one thing I want to do is you can just bring something on the artboard to sample from. It doesn't have to be a color palette. You see here, just literally some rose petals. And you could sample from something that really exists, like a beach scene or a tropical paradise, a certain field of flowers, whatever it is that has colors that really inspires you. You know, usually you're creating an inspiration board for something like this. So in this case, this inspiration board has pastels there. And I want us to, this one has different blues and greens. That's nice. I'm all about the corals, so I like this kind of where you have your dusty rose, blush, corals, all of those tones. I really like those, but we kind of have some corals in there now. So that might be why I like that color scheme. This orange and yellow is really nice. And it doesn't have to be a color swatch. Now you can do color schemes and look for the actual swatches. So let's go with this one. And I don't even need to download this. All I'm looking for literally is an inspiration image. So I probably could have just grabbed it right off of our Google Images here. Right click, open image in a new tab. This doesn't even have to be huge because all I'm going to do is sample colors from it. So I'm going to save this image and let me just save it as my color palette. I'm only going to use it to sample colors. I'll drop it right here. You say you don't have to do this if you already know what colors you're going to be using. We'll just stick with what you know. But some of us, some of the hardest things is figuring out what font to use and what color scheme to just make up. Uh-oh, I did not mean to move my clouds. I thought I was moving my my color palette there. Make it a little bit larger on this screen just so we can see it and you all can see it over the video. All right. And as a matter of fact, I don't even need the color palette here. I need my color palette when I change it to my smart color. Which is the very next thing we're going to do. Let's go ahead and double click on our smart color. And I did my best to make this. This is a very large file, but it's going to help as far as recoloring and making life simple. So we're going to duplicate this gradient color here, and it has a blue, a coral, and like a light golden yellow here. kind of like a sherbet orange. So we're going to double click on that gradient swatch. Then we're going to click one time on the gradient. And of course, we're going to make our own custom gradient. But before we do this, let me go ahead and drag in that little swatch there. And I'm going to create a gradient that matches some of the colors here. So let's go to our gradient. Our first color, let's choose the teal. Second color, let's choose the champagne, or I kind of like that sage color there. And then let's choose the champagne. So I'm creating another color stop just so I can choose champagne. And then I'll maybe take it to this paprika color. And I don't know if this is the name of these colors, but I'm just making it up as I go. Or I can do the kind of toasted almond chestnut. I don't know what would that color be. I'm trying to make up colors as I go, but I want to go ahead and grab that color now. So that's a lot of different colors. That's why I do really like gradients, because I feel like you can transition the colors without looking so clashy. And then if I find out I like one color better than another, I can always come back and change those colors out. So I'm going to hit yes to save. And it should automatically recolor my artwork now. This is what I call my smart colors. All right, so you see how it automatically took the color scheme that we came up with, and that gradient applies in different ways in different places and recolors. So now as far as the text goes, now I can duplicate the text, because maybe I want to keep this text, but I want to create a duplicate version that might have a different message, right? So this one, I'm going to just say always and forever. So I'll keep the forever. And then instead of in our hearts, I'm going to select the in our hearts, double click and put always, and then an ampersand sign. And because the always and is a little smaller, I'm going to do Control T to transform it, make it a little bit bigger. And I didn't think I would like these colors together, but I really do. All right, I'm going back to my move tool. And I'll move the always and up high. And forever a little lower. And then maybe for this one, the date would be like the wedding date. Maybe you put EST, which means established. And then this is all in our photo save area, so that's good. Mr. and Mrs. Right. All right. So we'll just make that up just for the sake of demonstration here. And then I would make this a little bit smaller. Even if I was designing this all over, I still don't want to go outside of my dotted line here, because that is what keeps me safe as far as knowing that I'm not going to print into an area that may get cut off. And let me reduce my always down just a little bit. So for you all that are taking the class or purchase the class after we do the recording, you'll have this alternate version too. So it'll be saved in the template. All right, and then we have a rainbow here if you want to turn it on and off. It is there for you. You have the doves that are here. Now, I just put a photo of doves there too, because doves aren't always for, you know, for funerals or for remembrance pieces. Doves also represent love and unity and connection. So they're used a lot in weddings as well. And just church in general tend to use the doves a lot. So I want you to think about that. It's not just for remembrance shirts. Let me see anything that I need to rename. I'm just going to rename all these flares, or I'll just name them flare. I will keep them as individual. Normally I merge things because I feel like it gives you less layers, but the flares are kind of one of those things that if you have them even in a folder, but you're able to go in and move them around, you can always use them as you need them and move them where you think it fits. So y'all won't have to do this. I'm just doing it now to be prepared for later. And you can see some of the flares here. They're a little faint, but you can move them around anywhere you'd like. I'm just moving one around for you right now, just kind of letting it bling off of her shoulder and her diamond earring there. And then like I was saying with the doves also, let me see what I need this hue saturation for. I'm just going to go ahead and merge that down. Nope, I can't because I want to keep my effects there. So what this hue saturation is here for the doves is that it allows you to change the colors of the doves, the shadows on the dove by your gradient. But I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing that, I'm going to delete that layer. So you don't have to guess what color to do. I'm going to use the smart colors to recolor. So it'll completely take the guesswork out of it for you. So let's do the one that's on the background here. I'm going to alt click and drag it on up above the doves. You see how the doves kind of naturally have this purple tint to them? We're going to fix that. Let's right click, create a clipping mask. And this is cool if you wanted to do like a silhouette. I was not expecting to do that, but that's pretty cool too, right? But let's see what happens if we choose, instead of normal, we change the blend mode to hue. Okay, so what hue does is it recolors the image based on what hue was existing. It's going to replace the old hue with the new hue. And I'm just playing with the blend modes here, just trying to give you some ideas of what you might want to do with it. This is kind of recoloring it with the color feature. but I really don't even want it to do that much. So I'm looking for the blend mode that's just going to recolor those areas that that had the shadow. And it's a little hard to see or to get through this previewing of the blend modes here because it is really taking a long time. Okay, so this blend mode is overlay. Let me just go with the hue or color. And then I'm going to change the color just a little bit so that it's not so intense. All right, so let's turn off the blend mode right now. And you won't have to do this. I'm going to have this done for you. See all that purple? I don't like it. So I'm going to do an adjustment layer if the computer will allow me to. And I'm going to do a hue saturation here. And I'm going to bring the saturation down just in general because I feel like that's way too strong. And then we'll bring our color back, and then I'm still going to play with the saturation here. I'm changing this one back to hue because what hue allows you to do, you get to keep the black and whites, and wherever there's any hint of color, it will replace that color. So you see how subtle this is now? It has a little tint of green and a little tint of that coral color over here. That's exactly what I want because I want it to reflect the sky. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to do Control T for this smart color. And I'm going to flip it because I want it to go the same way the main area of the sky is going. So I'm going to flip horizontal so that my green is kind of over here reflecting, because that's what happens. You have anything that's white and it's a round color, it kind of, the color reflects or kind of bounces off of objects. So I want to see the color that's surrounding it to bounce off of the doves. So see how now I have the green on this side and the coral on that side? Perfect. I'm going to clear this layer style. I'm going to merge down this hue saturation so y'all don't have too many layers. I don't want y'all to get caught up in that. So you merge these layers. Oh, this one is still a smart object, so in order to merge it, I have to rasterize it. There we go. And same thing with my heart here. I have a hue saturation on here to bring the blue out, but let's go ahead and try bringing this recoloring down from the smart color. And see how it kind of barely recolored those clouds in the back based on the gradient we selected? Now I can switch it if I want it to be opposite. So again, let's right click, or I'm sorry, just do Control T, right click on the artboard, and let's flip that horizontal and see how we like it with the flip-flop color. And I like it because it adds a little subtle contrast between the background and the clouds. And if I want it to be more stark of a contrast, I can crank my saturation up of that blue, and see how when I crank up the blue, even if I turn that off, I'm bringing up my saturation and letting that blue kind of show, and it's still faint. So when I replace the blue with whatever color is my smart color, it's going to recolor that layer. You see that? So that's really intense. And then I can bring my saturation down if I don't want it to be that intense. Then I also can change the lightness to make it a little more pastel. I think I like that better right there. All right, so I think we have a good look right about there. And that's pretty much it. Of course, you'll be able to decide whether you want the doves or the heart or, you know, the clouds at all. But that's kind of the gist of what we'll be learning. Yes, they do, Charmaine. Charmaine says the colors work really well together. And that's why sometimes if you need to get out of your own head, sometimes I have these built-in color palettes as my go-to color palettes, and I don't really deviate from them. But if I go check out a pair of shoes, right? Even if they're sneakers and they just have different colors in them, it'll make me think differently about the color combinations that I normally put together. All right, so this class is going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, we're going to do the very same steps I did here, except we're going to do it as a 13 by 19 so that it won't be so taxing on everyone's computers, because the AllOver shirts are huge files. So I'm going to do a 13 by 19 file, but everything that I did here in the AllOver, I will also have that available. But it'll just be after class, so no one will be confused on which which file you're working on. I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to turn off this color palette now. And then you can also do a solid color. Let's just see that real quick. As a matter of fact, I'll leave the solid color as black so you can see what this might look like if you switched out just one solid color for the smart color instead of doing the gradient. Okay, so you have it to where you can kind of do a grayscale, you can make this all pink, you can make this all mint green, whatever you can think of as far as what your colorway would be. You would just duplicate that layer, turn off the previous layer, and let's say I wanted to do like a mint color. That's a little sea foam, but that'll work. And we'll see it updating seafoam, hopefully. All right, that one's a little light, but let me try something a little bit darker than that. That was one that I would definitely do with a gradient and not just a flat color because that was a little too light. Let's go for a teal. There we go. So we can see some of those variations in there. And of course, if you do the gradient, it's going to do a little more extreme color changes and flipping and flopping. But if you go with a monochromatic scheme, it is very easy to just hit one, do one double click, change all of the colors in your artwork. And that's the whole purpose of doing it this way. All right. So I'm going to take you back and do a screenshot here so I can go ahead and do the mock-up file. And that's the other thing I usually, well, I have recently been giving you all my mock-up files too. The ones that I make the image for the class, so you'll have that editable file as well. Let me turn this font off for a moment, or text off, and then let me turn off the guidelines. And that's what our all over print looks like. And if I take off the shirt, now you can imagine this is all kind of other things. Maybe towels, or you might even be thinking of those satin chair covers. Those are technically polyester. So maybe you can think of sublimating items like that that stand out and make you a little bit different, or even custom sewing those, because those will be easy to cut and sew because it's really just you know, simple rectangular patterns. I can think of slates. I used to do these clock slates for weddings all the time. The acrylic photo panels, the metal photo panels, the tumblers, anything that you can think of. Once you see it without the t-shirt around it, your mind kind of opens up. This will be a beautiful pillow. So I just want you to kind of get an idea of different ways that you can use this stuff. So a template is not just for the exact purpose. I'm going to take this bold off of this text and see if I like that better. Yep, I do. So it's not just for the intended theme that you see, and it's not just for the intended substrate that you see. I know a lot of people are doing a lot of different types of substrates and different niches, and when you can, you know, kind of get an idea of how you can see something and repurpose it, then it makes it definitely worth it to have the template and to work through the class. All right, so let me go ahead and save that as a JPEG here. Then I'm going to go ahead and enable the layer mask here. And I want to put the layer mask on this background instead, because I like for my heart and my doves to kind of pop out the background just a little bit. And if I mask it on the edge, it'll kind of take those off. So this was an all over layout, but I'm turning it into a 13 by 19. So I want to make sure I have all my components together, but I need to get one more image as an all over. So I'm going to go ahead and revert back to our original for the all over. So all I'm going to do is double click on one of my smart colors, change it back, hit yes. And this is our original, I'll call it Tropical Sherbet. Just because it kind of reminds me of sherbet, that's all. Like a mango tropical sherbet. All right, and then what we're gonna do is bring back our other layout to see how it looks as a 13 by 19 and bring back our other words. So that'll be always and forever, and this will be forever hearts. You see how I recolored everything here? And then let me go ahead and bring back our transparent images and see how that looks out in this layout. Looks good. And then I'm going to take off the clouds here, or the layer mask. I'm going to right click and disable the layer mask. Disable that layer mask. And go ahead and bring back a t-shirt. Make sure everything fits where I want it to. And I'm double checking my little dotted lines here. Make sure I'm not going to cut off anything important like someone's face or text. Anything that's kind of hanging outside of this area can be cut off. So you just want to be aware that it's nothing that you really need. Right, I'm going to turn off my guides for a moment. And let's go ahead and export, or not export, I'm going to do a save as, because when I export PNGs, that's when I end up with the resizing issue. So we can save it as a PNG or a JPEG. I'll save this one as a PNG just so you can see that it's going to be able to pull in a PNG or a JPEG into the mockup. All right, and now I have this one. This one will be saved and ready for you all as an all over. So let me save, and in order to save it as a 13 by 19, once it completes saving, I'm going to do save as and break it down to a 13 by 19 version. All right, let's do file, save as. I'm going to save this as a 13 by 19. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and turn back on my clipping mask for this background, or the layer mask. And also turn one on for my front clouds. All right, now at this point, I have to get this down to a 13 by 19 orientation. And when I already previously had in a 13 by 19 as my ratio, so it looks like everything is good. And within my area here, I'm kind of pushing it just a little bit right there. So I may have to bring this out just a tad. And my rainbow is kind of pushing it too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter to lock in where I want my cropping to go. And this is taking it from a big file, making it a little bit smaller. And then I have to go to image size, and make sure that it's only 13 by 19 and not a huge 25 by 36. So if I type in 13, it should give me 19 in the height dimension. So let's hit OK. All right, and now let's do Control-0 to zoom in here. And like I was telling you last time, every time that you design something with the different type of ratio, the shirt had more of a square ratio. Now we're doing a 13 by 19. It has more of a vertical, you know, kind of portrait ratio here. So I'm going to turn off these guide layers because they're no longer relevant to the 13 by 19. And I'm going to kind of use up more of this space here. So I'm going to take my background, and I can do Control-T. As a matter of fact, I just want to move this layer mask. So I'm just going to unlink the layer mask, leave everything else where it is right now, and pull my layer mask down. But I don't want to go past this white, because even if you think there's nothing there, there really is something there. Right, and then next, I'm going to play with the scale of my gradient in the background. So I'll do Control-T, and see how now it was much bigger, and I got my full color when I was dealing with the bigger shirt. So now I'm just pulling it in so I still get my full color range. Same thing here. And I'm just double checking everything, making sure that I'm getting my full color. Looks like these two will probably be about the same. All right, so of course you won't have to do all of this. We'll just be changing everything out just as we did before. All right, and I'm just double checking all my smart colors now, making sure they make sense for the purpose of the 13 by 19. And then of course for the folks that have 2 or 3 photos, we'll be changing out the photos in this transparent area as well. So moment of truth, I'm going to put this on the pink background, see if anything looks like it's hanging out or weird, and it all looks good. I just turn off that back layer there, and I'm going to get rid of any layers y'all don't need. I'll keep the wings on there for you just in case. And have 2 sets of text. And of course, the blings. So let me go ahead and save this. This is going to be the file that you download for class. Like I said, the only thing that you need to do before class is have at least 1 photo, but no more than 3. You will download the 2 fonts. So let me turn that on. All right, so 2 fonts and 1 to 3 photos is all you need for class on Sunday. And that's it. If you have any other questions or anything, y'all go ahead and post the questions now, because I am going to post this class up within this next hour. You will see it on the Academy page, and Erica, I'm sure, can post that link for you. All right, so where you'll see it is right up here up top. Like this was 1:30. This was a class we did last Sunday. So you'll see it right here. And if all else fails, if it ever isn't right there at the top, just scroll all the way to the bottom, because sometimes all the time it automatically posts to the bottom. And then I have to force it to show all the way to the top. So now you got your 13 by 19 version too, and I already know you know how to change out your photos and the colors and all that good stuff. So maybe this will give you something else to play with too. Because I know after they see your AllOver that you're gonna have quite a few requests. So I hope this helps you out, love. Absolutely, LaCarsha. These classes are exactly for Photoshop beginners. I've had people in class who have done nothing but pay for Photoshop for a whole year and never even opened it before. So absolutely, this class is for you. The thing is, I like to show you that you can get really complicated with the look of your designs with knowing the bare minimum in Photoshop. So that's kind of my claim to fame. I like to give you that that confidence in yourself, and then once you have that, you're tackling Photoshop and you don't even know it. So please, any 100 level course, when I do 200 level courses, those are reserved for people that have done at least 2 to 3 of the classes and completed those classes. Now, 100 level, you can have, like I said, just purchase Photoshop. You could already be a Photoshop familiar artist, but let's say you just want to learn how to do better composition, or to use different features like we're using right now. Then this is your opportunity to explore the way that I design, and then it may give you some ideas of how to design for yourself. So it's for beginners and all the way up. And usually the folks that aren't beginners can, switch these things out after class and do a lot of different things with them, just because it's already, like, even as an advanced user of Photoshop, I still would take templates and, just an idea of something and rework it for my end goal or my purpose. So it's not just for beginners, but it is beginner friendly. Let me put it that way. Good deal, love. So let me go ahead and save that. The way that the Academy works out, if you're a $60 VIP member, that means you pay $60 per month for your membership. You have access to the live classes for free as long as you enroll in them. Usually that enrollment period is 24 hours before the class starts, and it shuts down. It's supposed to shut down 2 hours before class starts. So you want to make sure that if you know you're going to come, you go ahead and enroll. And the reason why the enrollment period is tight is because if you enroll in the class, you have to show up. You have to participate. You have to, go with the flow as we're going through class. And it's not scary at all. I promise y'all that I'm very patient, very, very kind, and I want to see you win. So you all are kind of my claim to fame, not the templates. When I have people that can say, hey, I never touched Photoshop, but now I feel empowered. Like, that's my goal. So I can design these templates all day, but if I can't make y'all work on them and make money with them, then I'm no good. Okay, so the idea is that after every single class, you all can post what you did in class on the Innate Creatives because you will have a final project done. So come to class with something in mind that either you want to print personally or that you want to do for a client, and you can use this session as a chance to basically pay for itself, pay for your class, pay for your membership for that month by just doing an art fee and an art project, okay? Awesome. And I'm glad you're back, Lisa. Glad you're back. Yeah, absolutely. Erica, who is our admin, who was able to make her own design based on this, started completely as a beginner. Didn't even have a desire to, well, didn't think she had a desire to do Photoshop, but ended up in every single class and even helping others. So it really matters what you think you can do, even as a beginner, because I won't let you fail. Thank you. I appreciate y'all chiming in saying the class is worth it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let me save this and I'll take any questions y'all might have about the Academy membership, anything like that, while I'm saving and getting things ready. Because, well, I'll be on for about maybe 10 more minutes, and then I have to get with Erica to help me set up this class for you all. All right, and again, I don't know why I just closed it out. Let me show you one more time where things will be, and I'll go over membership real quick. So there is a $30 and a $60 membership. I tell people the difference between and I'm going to be honest with you, I will not always have a VIP membership. I will not always have a $60 membership because eventually we'll get to a point where we start doing other things, and on Sundays we'll either be doing live workshops or maybe we'll even do business building workshops and that sort of thing. So my $60 a month membership right now is for the VIPs who want to literally attend every live class. And before, they were paying $60 per class to attend to attend that weekly class, and that adds up pretty quick. That's what, $240 a month. And so I realized that those are my most loyal supporters, and I wanted to offer an incentive for them to stay involved and draw other people in, because they were doing the work, they were learning Photoshop, very avid about it, definitely were spending the money to do it, and I wanted to reward them. So that is a $60 membership that allows you to take any live class that I offer that's a part of the regular courses. So usually our courses are Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every now and then I have to do another time period, but 90% of the time it's going to be Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you plan on taking more than one live course per month, then the $60 membership is a steal, because you'll get to take all 4 classes if you want to, end up with all 4 of those templates ahead of time and unlocking them early. Whereas if you're not doing the live courses, those classes will eventually unlock. Everything we're doing right now, including this template today, the 131 class, is going to eventually unlock, but I want you to understand how it unlocks. So when you start the Academy, immediately, whether you're a $30 or a $60 member, you're going to start off with session number 101, 102, 103, and 104. So that's as soon as you sign up. And then 7 days later, you will unlock 105. 14 days later, you unlock 106. 21 days later, 107, and etc. So as long as you are an active member, you will unlock new content every 7 days. Okay, so this becomes kind of like a collection for you. As long as you're a member, you'll be able to collect these, and they will automatically unlock every 7 days for free within your membership. Now, that's whether you're a $30 or a $60 member. However, there'll be times, let's say for instance, you want 125 because it's graduation season, and maybe you want early access to it. With the $30 membership, you get 67% off of any of these pre-done classes. So for less than $10, you'll get this template and this class. And if you're a VIP member, you're paying $7.50 for any class that you unlock early that comes with the template. So literally you're paying $7.50 for this template if you want it early. Some of our folks have already unlocked every class that they can unlock, and that's because they were there from the very, very beginning. But many of us are just joining, and if that's the case, then of course some of the newer content, if you want access to, you get it at a very deep discount. Okay, and that's just for being a member. So your $30 membership and $60 membership are the same, except the $60 membership is VIP. You get to come to the new classes as long as you can physically make it, or not physically, but virtually make it to the class. And then you get 75% off any product. And then the $30 membership doesn't have the option to do the free classes, but you can use your 67% off coupon code towards any class, any live class. Okay. Now, Takia, now how the system unlocks it is in order. So you can, if you want to purchase, you can purchase whichever ones you want at any certain time, but the system is going to unlock them in order. So 105 will unlock 7 days later. Um, if you're looking for like 122 is gonna unlock 18 weeks later. So because you automatically get 101 to 104, so 18 weeks later you'll unlock this one. If you just simply cannot wait for them to unlock or don't want to wait for them to unlock, then of course you can purchase them early for the discount. Okay. Only one jig. What's your name so I know what your YouTube name is. I see only one jig. What's your name in class and on the academy? So Takia, come on and try out this membership. And the thing about the membership too, when you join, it's really to get you hitting the ground running. So when you join your first 30 days, instead of 4 classes and templates, you really get 8 classes and templates because you're going to get the 101 to the 104 automatically. And then by the end of your month, you end up finished up on 108. So for 8 templates, $30, just for the templates alone, not even the class content that comes with it, that really is, these are your cohorts who are learning. So you get to see them learn. You don't just, you know, how usually you get to see me on YouTube just kind of going through the motions of what I'm doing. A lot of people don't learn well that way. A lot of people have to see it step by step, see other people asking questions, the same way you would learn in a real classroom setting. So the academy is for that real classroom setting. Sometimes people don't like that classroom setting and they want the straightforward video of me showing them what to do, and that's what the demo videos are for. So either way it goes, you can still join, join the class. And if you don't want to sit through the class, and just purchase the pre-recorded version. So you have the template, you have the pre-recorded that you can zoom through if you want to. I'm one of those people that watch every tutorial video at 1.75 speed. So I hear you, and I don't like to sit through slow-paced things, but I will teach things slow-paced. Thank you. Thank you so much. Helena says the membership is worth way more than what we pay each month. The content isn't matched anywhere else. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the recognition of that because I really do. aim to offer some real unique tools that, you know, when people see y'all's work, they know that you work hard, that you put money into what it is that you're offering, and that the type of content that you're able to create when it comes to either digital, if you're like designing for yourself, and for instance, your, where is it? Your Shopify store, the type of quality that you put into graphics like this kind of tell people about your price range and whether it's worth it to spend money with you. And I know many a times I would have to convince people that, hey, my t-shirts are not everybody else's t-shirts. So when I put time and energy into a 13 by 19 design on a t-shirt, it's not a $10 shirt. I guarantee you that. It's not even a $10 design. So, I want y'all to know that once you start putting out work like that, people will respect your prices. They will understand that that there's value in what you have to offer. Come on, LaCarsha. Let's get it, baby. You say you've been watching over here. You ready to rock and roll? Let's get it. I told y'all this was the year. This is the year we're going to rebrand and rebuild, and and hopefully, just like this economy needs to be rebuilt, we're going to be right on top of it and in front of it. And that's what's going to be important for us. All right, love. So if y'all have any other questions, let me know at this time. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get this class uploaded for y'all so y'all won't be stalking it. I know how y'all do, and I know how I make y'all do. I have some of my folks that are not last minute folks will be sitting here at the computer hitting refresh and waiting for this thing to refresh and the class to pop up. So I'm going to go ahead and get this up for y'all in this next hour, okay? All right, you have any questions or need any help, come on over to the Innate Academy. Y'all know about the Academy, and if you don't, it's a private Facebook group. And that's where we kind of announce what's going on when I'm posting videos. If we have a flash sale, it's usually noticed there first. Like we have a flash sale right now. It's 40% off of everything on Innate Lab. And as a matter of fact, Erica, do you mind posting the link for Innate Lab? So everything in the store, including the templates, including the ink, and including the blanks, are all 40% off. All right, and that includes if you need your kits. This is the prime time, when I tell y'all the prime time, to go ahead and get your sublimation conversion kit. If you plan on doing the T7270 or the T5270, and let's say you're waiting on your printer to come in, this is the prime time to go ahead and purchase these kits because you'll get them at a super deep discount, and you'll be ready to set up your system as soon as it comes in. So I do want to make y'all aware that this is probably one of the best values, this, and of course the ink. Let me go ahead and show y'all the desktop ink. So the desktop ink is for you, it comes in the EcoTank bottle, so you can use them for the EcoTank printers. You can use them for the 7710s and 20s. Any desktop Epson printer takes this ink. It's just that I do offer a kit with the cartridges, and y'all see right now the cartridges plus a full set of 127 milliliter bottles. So these are not 100 milliliter bottles. This is 127. So you're getting 27% more than the 100 milliliter bottles that you're used to getting from other sublimation companies. You're getting 127 milliliters times 4, plus the cartridges for $36.50. And then if you're just looking for the ink itself, let's say you have an EcoTank or you already have your cartridges and all you need is the ink. This is premium grade sublimation ink. This is not your regular standard sublimation ink. I'm not going to say you can just leave this in your systems and not tend to them, because I definitely don't want to give you that disclaimer. But I have had several printers that I've not printed for a couple months at a time, and I haven't had any clogging issues. I do the most with my printers. Maybe I should say I do the worst with my printers, because I want to see what happens in the worst case scenario, even though I'm recommending that you print every other day, at least something from your sublimation printers, because you don't want to ever have to deal with those clogged print heads if you can avoid it. But I will tell you that I have done the worst situations that I could probably do. I have let ink run out of my system. I have let ink sit in the system, and this is a very premium grade ink where the colors are true. That's why it's called True Colors. The number one pet peeve that I used to have with sublimation ink was the time that it took me to modify my artwork to fit whatever colors was going to pop out of that printer. And with sublimation, you just don't have that time to be playing with printing and reprinting just so that you don't have purple blues or red oranges or blacks that look just purple or brown. These are, especially in your common 7270 and 7710s, not 7270, I'm sorry, your 7210s and your 7710s. Those are the most common printers that are used for sublimation on the market right now. Even though the printer is obsolete, but this ink works extremely well in those systems as far as color matching. Now, the one that I've seen lately that has had a little bit of issue with color matching are the 15,000s, and that's only after some time. I think something is going on with those print heads because they're originally meant to be dye sublimation printers. So everything except for the black is dye, supposed to be dye ink, and it does have some slight color shifting there, but there's absolutely nothing I can do about that because it occurs like over time. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I've been seeing people have some issues with the EcoTank 15,000. But like I said, I think that's because the formula was not meant to be pigment ink. It was meant to be a dye ink. And yes, we're talking about dye sublimation, but dye sublimation ink is pigment ink. It's a dye ink is transparent. It looks like orange juice. I'm sorry, it looks like apple juice. Pigment ink should look more like orange juice. You know, the opacity of it. But anyhow, the point is it's $24 for some premium grade ink, and I'm probably talking way too long about the technicals of it. All right, the socks are a really big deal. They already have the jigs inserted in them, so you don't have to put jigs on them. You don't even have to take the jigs out when you offer them to a customer because it's just that cool. It stretches it out just a little bit, enough for you to do your designs front and back and not have to hassle with that. These stoles are a really big seller right now because they're 40% off. Almost everything in here is almost 50% off. So anything that you can imagine that I will sell, you're going to get a really good deal on right now. And the sale ends Sunday, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I want to make that clear. It's Eastern Standard Time because I always have a couple of laggards, and when when that sale cuts off, it doesn't discriminate on whether you had it in your cart or not. So just be aware of that, okay? All right, all right. Well, Lisa, I'm glad you love this one, and I'm so glad you all were patient and waited to do this one with me on this Sunday. So I'm excited about this class. I'm excited about the things that we have upcoming for you all. And if there's anything else that we can do or any help that you need, make sure that you interact in the Facebook Creative, the Innate Creatives Facebook group. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna give y'all my little peace out for the evening and go ahead and get this class uploaded for you. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all dearly. And until next time, bye.